Thank you all for joining. For those of you I might not have met yet, my name is Kimber. I am the program manager in Colorado Springs. Just a couple reminders as you guys get up out of your chairs. We have March Mayhem going on. All you need to do is join your favorite CubeFit classes, and they are all competing against each other. So we have a bracket, and at the end of the week, we will compare attendance for each class. And whichever classes had the most attendance will move on to the next round. So make sure to join your favorite ones. And then as we go through the weeks, we'll note which ones are still in the competition, so you can be sure to join those. Then we have our cooking demo at the end of March, or the third week of March, and we are doing a 1-pot enchilada skillet. And then we also have a fitness and pregnancy webinar this month on the 28th. So you don't want to miss that, even if you're not pregnant or not planning to get pregnant. It's helpful for just to know people in your life, and just to learn a little bit more about what that fitness looks like during pregnancy. So we are going to get moving today for our balance class. I'm just going to spotlight myself just in case. And we are starting with a stationary stretch, so no balance required for this one. I want you to place your right leg behind you at kind of a good wide lunge stance. And we're going to lunge into that front leg. So I want your heel, your back heel that is, reaching towards the ground. It might not reach the ground depending on how tight your calves are, but I want it to be reaching towards the ground so you start to feel that stretch in your calf, your right calf. In this position, even though we're focusing on our lower leg, I want your pelvis in neutral. So I want you to tuck that tailbone under. That just helps to release some compression on the low spine. So when we get into this position, it's easy to dump into our low back. We want to make sure we're actively pushing out of that and then adjusting to still feel that stretch in our calves. We're just going to hold here and breathe. You want to be in a place where you feel that stretch, but it's not painful and it doesn't make you hold your breath or cringe. If we are holding our breath or kind of wincing in pain, our muscles aren't able to release into that stretch. So we want to be mindful of that. One more breath here on this side, or in this calf stretch, I should say. And then I want you to step that right foot in just a little bit so that the heel is on the ground. We're still bending into that front leg. And then I want you to bend and straighten that back knee. So this is targeting that Achilles tendon in closer to our heel, kind of in our ankle, the back of our ankle. So a lot of us have really tight Achilles. So you might not be able to bend your knee very much, and that's okay. Again, you just want to feel that pull kind of in the back of your ankle, right in there, and then release it. If it's helpful, you can hold on to a wall or a chair, but it's a small movement. Sometimes it can feel awkward at first if you've never done it, because keeping our heel on the ground and then bending our knee is not necessarily a normal movement. 2 more here. It's helping with that ankle mobility. Go ahead and step that right foot forward. We'll step our left leg back, starting with that calf stretch here. You want to make sure your legs are staggered, and then we'll reach that left heel to the ground. And then that same cue in with our pelvis. So engage that core, tuck the tailbone under, and then reach that heel to the ground. You should feel no pressure in that low back. Want to find a stretch that's almost like a 4 out of 10. So when we're in our neck, we're going for a 2 out of 10, a really minimal stretch. Usually in these bigger muscles, you can get a little deeper stretch, or a little more intense stretch, I should say. Big deep breaths as we hold. Try to breathe into that belly. And then step that left foot forward just slightly as we kind of lunge into that right leg, anchor the left heel, and then we'll bend and straighten. If you find that there's a big difference between right and left, just make a mental note of that. That can be really helpful. The elasticity of our Achilles is really important, especially if we're doing sports or activities that require quick movements, like pickleball or tennis, or even chasing grandkids or kids around. Those quick changes in direction matter a lot with our ankles and Achilles. Last one here. Good, relax. These next few, I should say, we're going to try to do them moving. So if you have a space where you can move, go ahead and get to one end of it. If you're at a desk in an office, you are welcome to stay right in front of it, and I'll give you options for that. So the first one is going to be toe walks. We're going to be up on our tippy toes, and we're going to be walking across our space. Turn around when you get to one side and switch. If you are right in front of a desk, you're going to be up on your tippy toes, and you can just walk a couple steps forward, a couple steps back. So this does require some balance, but it shouldn't be crazy amounts of balance because you're moving in a direction, so your body gets to stabilize as it moves. We still want to focus on that core because that's where our balance comes from. So our core is engaged, we're active up through our legs, not just in those calves. And our chest is up. A lot of times when we are walking on our toes, we kind of hunch over to try to find that balance and kind of move that center of gravity. We want our chest up nice and tall. I'm just going to do one more lap here. So wherever you're at, about 7 more steps or so. And then we're going to switch to our heels. So you'll lower down. This one is a little bit easier on bare feet. So if you have bare feet, you're welcome to use or take your socks and shoes off. You're going to be on your heels instead of your toes and walking like that. So again, if you're in front of your desk, you can pick those toes up, just walk a couple steps forward, a couple steps back. If you have absolutely no space, you're just going to lift up on those toes and lower down. Lift and lower. Again, our chests are up, so all the cues are the same. We're lifting through our shins, but the front of my thighs are still active, my core is still active, my eyes are forward. That's really where that balance comes in. When we're unsure of the way we're walking, we tend to look down. So we want to keep our eyes up. Breathing as we walk. I'm going to do one more lap. Should feel some burning in those shins. And rest. Shake those legs out. This next one, again, we're moving through this. This one's going to require a little bit more balance. So we're going to do walking knee hugs. We're going to lift one leg, grab it with our hands, pull it in towards our chest, step forward, and switch. If you're in front of your desk, you're just going to march in place. So pull and switch. The movement forward just kind of adds another factor when we think of balance. But we want to find that stability with each step and work to set each foot down with control rather than falling into it. If your balance just really isn't there today, you can either be up against a wall or near a wall and kind of use it for balance with your elbow, kind of lean into it. So just do whatever level works for you today or is needed today with your body. This one, you're going to get the most benefit if your chest is upright because you can pull your knee in a little bit further. Let's just do one more lap across. So about one more each leg here. And rest. All right, our last moving one, we're going to do quad pulls. So we're going to kick one heel towards our glute, pull it in towards, grab it with our hand and pull it towards our glute, step and switch. Now, if you can't grab because your quads are too tight today, which is very common, you're just gonna kick it. So kick towards the glute and then switch. That's actually, even if you don't feel a stretch, that is actually still helping to open up the front of your leg because it is activating your hamstring or the back of your leg. So as I fall over, you are still getting the benefit of that while practicing your balance. If you're able to grab your foot, try to hold for a second at the top. If your space is small, try not to get dizzy. Go nice and slow. Good. Let's do 2 more each leg. Forgot to say, but I think it's pretty self-explanatory. If you're in front of your desk, just be marching, switching off, and rest. Okay, we're gonna take that quad stretch a little deeper now, but standing in place. So again, couple options here. You can grab your foot in the back and stand up nice and tall. The bigger challenge is going to be to hinge at your hips and take this into what's called the dancer's pose in yoga. So you can either be here or reaching that opposite arm forward and hold it. That's going to be your extreme balance challenge. So if you want to go there, feel free. If you need a little extra help with that leg, you're going to set it on a chair. Or if you have a belt or a strap, a towel around, you can wrap that around your foot and hold it if that front of the leg is feeling too tight. So go ahead and find whatever level. You want to find stability in the first level before you move on to the next. So once I'm stable here, I can kind of lean into that hinge. I'm pressing my right foot into my right hand. Once I'm stable there, I can reach my left arm out. Feel free to be near a wall or a desk in case you need that extra support. We're going to hold here and switch. Go ahead and lift that or kick that left foot up and back. Stand up nice and tall. Find your balance. Hinge if you're there. When you're ready, reach that right arm out and hold. Take a couple breaths in whatever position you're in. And then slowly come out of that and release. That is all we have for today. Thank you for joining me. I took you a couple minutes over, so sorry I got carried away. I hope you all have a great rest of your Wednesday. We'll see you back here next week.